Commander Ethan had spent his entire life hunting dragons. Since childhood, he had heard only one story. Dragons are monsters. They burn villages. They cannot be trusted. The kingdom's greatest enemy was said to be the last dragon, hidden somewhere inside the forbidden Black Mountain. One morning, the king gave Ethan a secret mission. Find the last dragon. Kill it. Return before the next full moon. The king handed him a legendary crystal sword, forged to destroy dragon hearts. If you fail, the king warned, our kingdom will fall. Ethan accepted without asking questions. For 7 days, he crossed frozen rivers, haunted forests, and abandoned castles. Everywhere he went, people feared the dragon. Some claimed it ate travelers. Others said it controlled storms. No one had actually seen it. On the 8th night, Ethan reached the mountain. Inside a giant crystal cave, he finally found the dragon. But what he saw froze him. It wasn't attacking anyone. A massive silver dragon lay weakly on the ground, its wings covered in deep wounds. Beside it were 3 tiny dragon hatchlings, trying to keep their mother warm. The babies looked terrified. When they noticed Ethan's glowing sword, they hid behind their injured mother. The dragon slowly raised her head. She could have attacked. Instead, she lowered her neck, almost as if accepting death. Ethan stepped closer. Then he noticed something shocking. Huge iron chains surrounded the cave. The dragon wasn't hiding. She had been imprisoned. Ancient runes covered the chains. Someone had trapped her here years ago. Then Ethan found an old stone tablet. It revealed the truth. Long ago, the dragons had protected humans from creatures called the shadow beasts. But greedy kings wanted the dragons' magical hearts, so they betrayed them. History had been rewritten. The dragons became the villains. The real monsters were humans. Before Ethan could think further, loud horns echoed through the mountain. The king's royal army had arrived, but they hadn't come to help. The king smiled coldly. Excellent work, Commander. You found her. Then his soldiers aimed giant crossbows, not only at the dragon, but at Ethan. The king laughed. Once her heart is mine, I will become immortal. You've served your purpose. At that moment, Ethan realized the mission had never been about protecting the kingdom. It had always been about power. The soldiers fired. Without thinking, Ethan jumped in front of the dragon. An arrow struck his shoulder. The dragon looked at him in surprise. For the first time, she trusted a human. Using his crystal sword, Ethan shattered the ancient chains. The cave shook violently. The freed dragon queen spread her enormous silver wings. A roar echoed across the mountains. Not one of anger, but of freedom. The battle began. Shadow beasts suddenly emerged from the darkness. Without the dragon's magic keeping them away, they had returned. The king's soldiers panicked. Many fled. Some were swallowed by the shadows. The dragon queen fought fiercely despite her wounds. Ethan stood beside her. Human and dragon, fighting together. At sunrise, the shadow beasts disappeared. The greedy king tried to escape, but the same collapsing bridge he had ordered built for war became his downfall. His hunger for power ended his own reign. Days later, the truth spread across every kingdom. The ancient lies were finally exposed. The dragon queen and her children flew freely across the skies once again. Humans no longer feared every dragon.
and dragons no longer feared every human. Years later, children would hear a different story. Not about a hero who killed a dragon, but about the soldier who chose compassion over blind obedience. Because
sometimes the greatest courage is refusing to do what everyone says is right. Never judge someone by stories you've been told. Seek the truth for yourself, because compassion can change the fate of entire worlds.